Hello, this is Skip from skipology.com. I just wanted to run through my latest tutorial Horizon by video to show you the end-to-end process. So I will be running through quite a lot of apps at quite a rapid pace. So if any specific area needs slowing down to look at them, please obviously feel free to hit the pause button and go through it a little bit more slowly. Unfortunately, I've only got an iPhone 4. So I can't record the iPhone 4 onto my laptop and capture it on video, so I'm having to do this on iPad, but the apps are the same, it's just that they may look a little different on the iPhone. Okay, so here we are with our screen open. I'm going to dive straight into Filter Storm and go into my photo library to open up my image, which is a Hipstamatic capture. I want to go straight into crop. I'm going to select the 4:5 ratio and just going to drag, keeping in mind the rule of thirds for the horizon, and get into position as best I can, and then just accept that. And then it's very important at this stage, I think, to get the right resolution, so I'll go into scale and I'm going to scale the longest side to 2000 pixels. I'll accept that, and then I'll save it and export it out into the photo library. The reason I resize at this stage is that all future processing will be done at the full size resolution, so the final image quality should be as good as it possibly could be, and that's quite important if you decide that you want to print it. So now I'm going to go into Snapseed, and all I really need to do in Snapseed is a simple edit just to rotate the image slightly, just to get the horizon level. So I go into the straighten tool, and that brings up the grid line to enable me to line everything up, and I just drag with my finger to get the horizon level, and then once I'm happy, I'll hit the apply button, and then I'll save it back to the camera roll. There we go. So next I'm going to bring it into Laminar Pro, and I think that really, given the scene, it needs some colour adding, and I thought this was probably quite an easy way to add the colour, especially as really the primary colour is going to be blue. So I'm hitting the FX button at the bottom, select FX and filters, and I'm going to start with the vintage filter, which I'm going to apply at full strength. I'm going to hit the orange apply button at the top there. And then I'm going to go back into the same FX menu and FX and filters again, and I'm going to apply another filter over the top of that one. This time it's going to be the retro effect, but I'm going to water that down slightly towards sort of 25–30%, and again I'll hit the apply button, and then I'll hit save and share, and I will export it back to the camera roll. So now I'm thinking that the image looks a little bit blurry, especially given the really small ship, which I'd like to add additional detail to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up an app called Photo Toaster next. There we go. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to import the picture, and you'll see at the bottom left there are an awful lot of filters. Sorry, just importing the image. At the bottom left there you hit the globe, and then there are a lot of filters, and if you rotate, at the moment it says basic, but you can rotate that dial and it brings up all sorts of filters. But the filter I want clarify is in basic, so I'll just select clarify, see how much sharper that looks now, and then I'll export it into the photo library, and we're starting to get something approaching what I'm looking to achieve. So the next app that I'm thinking about now is Distressed FX, and that's to really add the painterly sort of overlay to this. And there are two areas, one is sort of a texture and one is an effect. I'm going to go with the charm texture. I'm going to go, sorry, I'm just importing the picture first, the image first. I'm going to go with the charm texture, and then I'm going to select birds for the effect. I'm going to select the trio. There we go. So you can see this, the very heavily textured painterly style there, and I'm going to save that image. I'm not really very happy with the sky, so what I'll do now, I'll apply a second, I'll create a second version, and this time it's going to be egret and charm as the combination, and you'll see that the sky now is a nice blue. The sea doesn't look so great, but that's not a problem. I'm going to save that. There we go. So I've got two versions of the same image now, and what I really need to do is to combine those two versions to get the best of both worlds in a single image. And my preferred app for layering and masking, which is what I really need to do now, is Superimpose. So I dive into Superimpose, I import the first version as the background, then I select the library again and hit foreground, and select the second version as the foreground. There we go. I'll just go to transform to maximise it. So I go home and I'm just going to reduce the size just a little bit, just so that I've got a bigger desktop area to work on, and then I go into masks. And the area I want to mask is the sea, which is actually rectangular shaped. Just hit the settings to make sure that it's feathered edges. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm actually going to draw it much bigger than the area I want to mask, so that I can move it around as I see fit. And there we go, that's put the mask on. I'm going to hit the view mask button at the top there so I can see exactly where it is. Then I'll hide it again. There we go, you see it's masked the birds so far. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to transform, and all I really want to do is add the colour to the sky, nothing else. So select the colour option, and you'll see that the sea is now masked, and that's got the sort of bluish sea from the first version, and the sky is unmasked and it's washed in the colour from the second version, but the birds are still viewable. So I'm happy with that, and I'm going to export that now. There we go. And then I just think it needs something to pull it all together, and an app that I occasionally use is 100 cameras in one, which has some fantastic names for filters. So I'm going to import the image into 100 cameras in one. I'm going to, unfortunately it does crop the image square. There are ways around that, but I'm quite happy to leave it square for now. Look at all these wonderful filter names, but the filter that I want is called It Seemed Like Such a Good Plan, which is in the fantastic landscape area, which would be appropriate for the image. I'm just going to adjust that level to taste, and I'll save that to the library. There we go. I've got a little bit of an issue with it now in that it looks too saturated for my taste, so I'm going to bring it back into Filter Storm. I'm going to hit Filters. I'm going to open the image first, of course. There we go. I'm going to hit Filters, and I'm going to select the Hue and Saturation option, and I'm going to reduce saturation, I think by around 50%, just to add a little bit more subtlety back into the image. And I'm happy with that, and the final step is to export it back into the photo library. There we go. And I'll just go out of that now, and I'll open up my photo library, and hopefully you'll see, there we go, the finished version. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful. Please do pop across to the blog and say hello.